tell me something, okay? Tell me, why are black people the only people where when something is going so well, they'll look for every reason to show something going bad? Why is it that black people are the only people that when something is going so, not well, on the other hand, they are so quick, they are eager, they are so hesitant to run off and brag and expose that person's problems? You don't know, that's your own kind you're exposing. That's your son, right? That's your family. That's your brother, that's your sister, even your brother through struggle, through tribulation. You're just doing that to yourself. So what justice or what reasoning are you doing to yourself by being so quick to watch another brother or sister fall down? I swear, we're the only people who have this problem. There's nobody else who has this problem. You're so quick to go to work and tell your people at work how your son had something going wrong with him, not knowing that the people, those white people you're trying to impress at work, they're smart enough to know that you raised that boy. And whatever problem's going on with him, it starts at home. Right? There's a sense of accountability, yes, which eventually we get to learn. But the problem is that's your son, that's your that's your blood. You're the one who's supposed to be guiding him, correcting him. But instead, you're looking for every reason to show him how he's not doing well. And this is the problem. We're not equipped as black people to be living in this country. You just got to admit it, right? I'm not saying it's always been like that. I'm just saying that recently we have been so unsupportive of each other. We have been so quick to point the finger, to accuse each other as if we're just judging on top of the table, right? We are so quick to call the police on our own families. We're so quick to call out everybody for their wrongdoings and their overall injustice. But I'm like, you're just doing that to yourself. You're just doing that to yourself, because if you were a noble leader, I guarantee you would be the one to step up and to actually confront the issue and provide a solution, rather than bratting like a Barbie and constantly just repeating the same thing, going over and over again. Okay, we know, and I'm telling you right now, and I'm sure white people know this too, we've got problems in the black community, right? And the last thing the white man wants to hear is the problems of the black people, right? We're already giving him enough problems, especially as we're trying to squeeze into his neighborhood with the problems that we can't even solve within our families. What the hell are we going to do in his neighborhood if we can't even raise our own children, if we can't even support our own sons, if we can't even side with our own sons and listen to our own sons' stories when they're trying to tell you what's going on with them? This is the problem, right? And this goes for everyone. This goes for everyone. I mean it. That you will eventually realize black people are so systematically trapped to the point where you can't help them. If you help a black person, he'll take your arm off. And listen, I'm not speaking of all black people, but I will speak on the collective, right? I know there are people out there who are fighting for the black community, and I respect them. But you got to understand, just as there are people who are fighting, there is a mass, there is a great deal of brainwashed puppets who take everything they can from the black community and they surrender it to white America. This is the problem we face, okay? And this will never get better until we can actually figure out a way to bring some sort of justice and some sort of sense into those people who we've entrusted to lead our community. And ultimately, they lead us into a ditch. They sell out our own kind. They rob us, and they mislabel stories, all right? Whenever, between believing a black person and a white girl, the black man would snap his hand off for a white woman, and I kid you not. And that's the problem. Black people are way too obsessed with white people and looking to please white America that they literally throw their children, they throw everything they have under the bus just to make sure that white America hears what they need to hear about black people. Everything we've been learned in programming, that black people are dangerous, black people are crazy, and anytime you see a black man fighting, you better look for every reason to lock him up. You look at all the most noble black leaders in history. What have they had to go through? We've been through betrayal of our own kind for history, all right? You look at Malcolm X, you look at all the black people you know, you look at, I'm telling you right now, anytime you hear a black person talking about the lack of support or betrayal, it comes from our own kind. And you will never actually understand this until you figured out that the problem we face in the black community is that we refuse to actually believe that a brother can come out of a place that another one is still stuck in. If you deploy any sort of criticism or judgment to someone who you know has been through a hard time and who's gone through their time, and you still feel the audacity to criticize them and have a say on their life, you are non-existent in the black community. You should be ashamed to be black. We know you're ashamed to be black, but you should be even more ashamed as far as we're concerned, because you have done a great deal of injustice to the black community every time you watch a brother. You know what a brother's been through. You know where the brother's trying to go. You know there are going to be some roadblocks and some serious circumstances blocking that brother from getting where he is. You know there are racists alive. You know there are groups who, despite the law legalizing equal rights, they still do not support the idea, and they will go through any maneuver possible, whether that's through systematic incarceration or racial profiling, to try and accuse the black man of a crime, despite the fact that the black man has done nothing. Listen, as long as you're black, they will always look for a reason to put you away. And that's not paranoia, that's facts. That's facts, okay? And here's the issue that you will never find you will never find that these people who we claim are supposedly supposed to represent our community, we don't even know who the hell they are. They're only recognized as far as white America has kind of put them in this systematic approach, more or less, to keep black people at bay. White people are smart, and I'm telling you right now, there is not a single white man alive who dreams of the day that his precious princess daughter marries a black boy who came from the slums or the ghettos, despite how far he makes it in his career. That's just not how life goes. You are causing the white man fear, but that's not the only person you're causing fear. You are selling out your own kind, trying to believe this fairy tale image that that white people are everything you need. You see, white people stick together on Christmas. White people don't argue about who gets the inheritance when a brother or a sister or somebody in the family passes away. White people don't gossip about brothers and sisters who they know are going through a tough time, right? White people support these people. White people don't testify against their own kind, okay? White people don't speak on situations that they weren't even present for. It's only black people who do that. They will look for any reason to exploit and to push forward a suggestion that anytime you see a black person trying to rise, that you should do as they have been taught to do, and that is to let that black person know where he stands. Well, let me tell you something. If you're black and you have enough common sense to avoid these people, I take my hat off to you. I give you my praise. But as far as we're concerned, in the more corporal parts of America, this is a big problem. You have black lawyers, you have black police officers who are working to take out black people. You have black family members who wouldn't even dare listen to their own black son when he is testifying that the white people are repressing him, and he is just doing whatever he needs to do by any means necessary to defend himself against any sort of psychological or systematic abuse, right? We will never reach that point where we feel like we have been convinced that this is a level of critical thinking that our black leaders who live amongst these white communities can figure out. We put them in these communities, right? Don't forget, us people in the lower income, lower area, or at least who came from that area, we raised the foundation of survival. We taught what it was like to be black. These people abandoned those teachings, and instead they do anything. Like I said, they would snap their hand off for a white woman, for a white handshake, for a white cake, for a white ice cream, for anything that is white. And I kid you not, it is such a problem, but you will never understand until you've lived through it.